follow. Nice job. Mr. Jump, Mr. Brown, members of the Board of Education, parents, and especially the Hopewell Loudon class of 1997. It's an honor to be here, and I don't think I realized it until last night at a class I'm in Bowling Green. One of my professors said, this is probably the greatest event and a social event in the community, and I'm very honored to be a part of that. Thank you. That being said, as your lives hang in the balance between adulthood and childhood, go back to Mr. Jacobs' class, because there's nothing out here to see. Go back and do something else. Honestly though, you've had a good solid education at Hopewell Loudon. I think now is probably time to start asking some of those higher level questions like, why does sour cream have an expiration date? Okay, that one wasn't real good, but that stuff they make on the little black box on the airplanes that never seems to explode. And when the plane goes down, the box is still there. Why don't they make the whole airplane out of that stuff? Those are the kind of questions that hopefully you can ask now with your diploma from Hopewell Loudon and get a good answer. There are some tough questions out there. They're like, am I ready? Will I be successful? In all honesty, no one has an answer for you. When you walk into a bookstore today, if you're a sports fan, you can see a Rick Pitino success book, or you can see a Pat Riley success book, or there's a book about 7 ways to succeed, or 5 ways to crawl up the corporate ladder. There's a ton of things, and there are a ton of advice people can give you, but to be very honest, there is no plan, and life has no blueprint. That's part of the fun, getting up every single day and wondering exactly what's going to happen. I got to admit, I'm a sucker for those books, but if you leave with one thing tonight, understand that no one can plan how things are going to go for you, and that's the great part about it. Last year, after Bruce Springsteen released his album, The Ghost of Tom Joad, he was asked in a press conference if the songs on that album and the things he had tried to do throughout his career were his way of changing the world and his way of trying to say certain things, and had he set out to accomplish everything he had wanted to do. And his only response was, there comes a certain point in your life where you've got to stop trying to become something and work on the person that you are. You don't have to invent yourself. You need to refine yourself right now because you're an excellent group of young people. The only measure of success that you should be concerned about, and the only measure of success that I'm concerned about, is working on myself. There are certain things in my life I'd like to accomplish, but whatever I do, I want to be able to look myself in the mirror and tell myself that I accomplished it with honor and integrity. And sometimes I can, and sometimes I can't. And sometimes I don't do the right thing, but I always try. You'll be asked to make some very, very tough decisions for the rest of your life. And sometimes you'll make the right ones, sometimes you won't. But what you have to be able to do is to be able to look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that you made the right decision. And when you go to sleep at night, you've got to be able to tell yourself that. That's the only definition of success that I can give you, and it's not going to make me $1 million in a bookstore. You're reaching an awesome point right now. You're entering the workforce, the military, college, at a time that can probably best be described as a revolution, because at no time in this nation's history have we been faced with so many things. Not since the Industrial Revolution have we seen the possibilities technologically with computers or anything that we see right now. We're on the advent, we are right at the cusp of great social change and advancement, and I really feel that the computer age has just started. That being said, I expect you to keep a few things in mind while you participate in this. First of all, there's a brand new web page developed for the internet every 6 minutes. Yet according to some literary critics, there hasn't been a significant American novel written this decade. Secondly, a computer has been programmed to write a novel, but they still can't give that computer emotion and feeling. Scientists have admitted that they can clone various animals. They can clone sheep, they can clone a ton of things, but they still can't find a cure for disease like AIDS and cancer. We can build beautiful facilities and large stadiums to house professional sporting teams in Cleveland, and believe me, they're beautiful. However, some students in Southern Ohio have to go to the library to study in their school in an abandoned coal mine. Some cities in Cleveland have no heat in their building, and students are forced to go to school with coats on. We can link up with anyone anywhere in the world at any point within a matter of seconds, Yet somewhere in Seneca County, Hancock County, Sandusky County tonight, children will go to sleep hungry and people will go to sleep on the street. Use your voice, but don't just use your voice to develop a brand new web page. Henry David Thoreau once said that most men live lives of quiet desperation. Don't let that be you. Leave your mark. Make people remember you were here, and not just through a brand new web page or an internet site. Use the voice and hold on to your convictions, even if people tell you you're crazy or that's insane. Because Albert Einstein once said insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. You're entering a great world, but there are a lot of problems out there. Use that voice and find a solution to some of those problems, and don't just try the same old thing time and time again because it's safe. I'm going to leave you, and I think I've pretty much fulfilled everyone's request of being very short tonight. I have one request though. If you'll take just a couple of minutes and look around this gymnasium, you see a lot of people here that love you. And people have driven hundreds and hundreds of miles, or some people have just come down the street, but they're here for you. And the important thing you need to remember is before you go to bed tonight, and I expect you to go out and have some fun, but of course be careful. Before you go to bed tonight, make sure you tell them all that you love them. Because when it comes down to it, the only definition of success that you have, and the only measure of success that you'll ever see, is defined in your family and the friends and the people that are here right now. Keep that in mind. Class of 1997, you were 7th graders when I got here. Football players, you first put on football pads for the first time with me, and in spite of that, you still made the playoffs. In spite of battling, Lord only knows what, you still had an incredibly successful season. I'm very proud of you. You have and always will have, trust me, a very, very special place in my heart. Thank you very much for letting me share this opportunity with you.